You're 4-1.
4-1. Doug knows this.
Because I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side of the street.
You're both in fours.
All four of us are full time.
I'm sorry.
It's the place.
Call the
4-1 with Daniel.
call the Jamestown City Council meeting to order. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Sheldon,
Here.
Dose, Scotchmer,
Here.
Jarzynski,
Here.
Faulkner,
Present.
Bonfiglio,
Here.
Enquist,
Present.
Gonzalez,
Here.
and President Breckman.
Here. Okay, so now's the time for anybody from the community that would like to address the council. Is there anyone that would like to address the council today? Please state your name and your address, and you have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, folks. Paul Wolf, 212 Fulton Street. So, I don't know if you folks really pay attention to things, but as you recall, at the end of January, I came in and talked about a slip and fall that I'd ended up in the hospital about. I don't like to bring personal business into this stuff. I try to keep it, but man, I've been told by every lawyer that I've contacted that it's not worth enough money for them to take a case. Now, what happened to justice? Can I find some justice here? Is there some kind of recourse that our city can have for people that violate our city codes and injure their citizens? What can you folks do to help me? Anything at all? Because I'm being told by lawyers it's not worth enough money. We have codes that are supposed to be enforced. Specifically, the slip and falls that occurred, ironically, are in Ward 3. Ward 3 seems to be our commercial district. They're all recorded with Department of Development. Each sidewalk that I reported was in Ward 3. And I only walked through Ward 2 and Ward 3, so I don't know about any other ones. I'm not excusing any other ward. We're gonna do something here.
How many attorneys told you this?
I've had 4 contact me through recommendations from at least 6 that have denied me. I'm currently talking to a 7th. Well, I'm talking to a 7th, not one that I've been referred to.
6 have refused.
Yes, and the first 4 were local personal injury attorneys. The rest of them are from the New York City area. Yeah, kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
Justice
it
has a
is.
price
It's
tag.
very, very interesting that they would refuse it.
I'm not saying that that's what all of them refused me for, but that's the information I got from the last one, because I had explained the situation to him and how many had turned me down. And he said in most likelihood it was because it wasn't financially beneficial for them. Interesting. So our citizens with no legal recourse can break certain city codes.
I just asked the attorney, I don't know where he is, so
Yeah, he was,
I sent him a text to ask him to come in here.
okay. I appreciate that, thank you, because this is just ridiculous. And I don't know who else to go to. You folks are, like I told you before, the last resort I know of.
He's here.
I think he's on the phone. I don't mean to take up so much time. It's just, this is something that can happen to anybody, not just me.
I just don't know. I don't know what our recourse would be.
I don't either. I mean, we've got city codes, we've got penalties in the city codes. My wife just sent me a picture off of Facebook, something about $100 fine for garbage sitting in front of houses. October 14th, the trash next door was supposed to be cleaned up. I mean, is there gonna be a $100 fine for every day that sat there since October 14th? Which is the limitation Department of Development gave them to clean it up.
If they're ticketed, that comes with a $100 fine.
Okay, and what is that doing? City code says 48 hours later, y'all are supposed to come clean it up. I read that last time I was here. It's in writing, you can't deny it.
48 hours?
City Code 215, chapter dash 41. Part of the penalties and the recourse of leaving trash sitting alongside of any highway within the city limits.
That's not something that my department enforces.
Issues a citation, the citation expires within 48 hours. The city is responsible for cleanup and charging the property owner. It is in writing, you cannot tell me.
The Department of Development does not cite for that particular thing.
You write the citations that expire, correct? So if they expire
You know,
in
if we're not
48
gonna
hours
debate this
later,
right now,
exactly, because you can't
you
not.
are welcome to come into my department at any time. You can
I
make an
do, and I
appointment.
get turned away and told that
I've
cases are
never
closed.
seen you there.
Talk to two young ladies, but I'm not here to argue with you. It's in the city code.
So, but you're citing a part of the code that my department does not enforce, so.
But I'm here in front of the council, so someone should be able to say who's supposed to enforce it, aren't they? Shouldn't they? That's your job. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that's your job, right? Who enforces these things? Who makes sure that your citations are enforced?
So the
Thank you.
question is who cleans it up? Who's supposed to?
BPU cleans it up, they're the city cleanup, and it's not a private city or a private contractor hired by the city. And then you charge the property owner on their taxes. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the council at this time? Okay, then we will go into our committees. Housing, and during housing, we'll have a presentation. From the DOD, right? Yes.
Yes,
Casey's up.
yep.
Okay.
Casey's gonna walk us through how to report a
So-
concern.
Did you have anything to say?
Yes, Madam President. I'll just give my brief little thing while Casey's getting that up, is just, there was no one here from the public that came to speak. There was a constituent concern that I brought up, that I wasn't quite sure like whose jurisdiction it was, and they were able to answer that. And then Doug was there and he asked a question about just like targeted speed versus like filing a complaint, like what are the differences of those and how do they work? And then that'll be my quick little blurb before I hand it over to Casey for a wonderful presentation.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we're going over how to report a concern today. There's a few different ways to do it. We'll start by phone. So if you give our office manager, Elizabeth Torres, a call at 716-483-7542. Let her know the concerns that you have, the location, and the contact information. Some important stuff to know is, are you a tenant? Do you live there? Is it your neighbor? Are you walking by or driving by and you're noticing something that you're reporting? And importantly, if you are the tenant, you have to leave your contact information so we have a way to get into the apartment if that is the complaint. In person, you'll visit our office manager, Liz, here at the 4th floor, City Hall. All the same information, the concern, the location, and the contact information. We'll also take them by email. They'll be addressed to Liz, again, at dod@jamestownny.gov. That email is monitored by Liz primarily, and if she is not in the office, then I pick it up and I'm also going through it. Again, filing the complaint, we need the concern, the location, and contact information. Online is the easiest way to do it. You go right to the city website, click on the e-forms and online applications and fill out the form. This is what it'll look like if you click on this link here. This is our website. Scroll down, e-forms and online applications. Takes you to our application portal. It shows all of the things that you can apply for. So we'll hit report a concern. In here, you can search by address, so we'll do City Hall. Oops, East 3rd Street, 4th floor, Unit 4, that's us at the DOD. Our concern type will be high grass. Description. So if it's tall grass at your neighbor's house in the side yard, that's where you would put, it's the side yard, grass is up to my knees, and it hasn't been cut in 2 months. It doesn't matter if you select anonymous or not. We don't share any identifying information, so no one will call and say, I need to know who is complaining about my property. We're never going to give out that information. But we do need an email in here. If you choose to put in a real email address, you will get minor updates as the case progresses. So that part's important. Once you're done there, there's a spot here that you can add photos if you have some to help our code enforcement officers locate the problem. And you hit submit, and you're given this confirmation page, and then you're also given a confirmation email. Those are monitored. All of these complaints are monitored every morning and every afternoon after lunch, just so we know. All right, through the app. If you go to your app store, you can download the GovAlert app. This is the little pinpoint. This is what your app icon will look like. It's geolocation based, so if you are standing at the location of a concern, you can drop that pin at that location and it auto-populates the address. And you will complete the form just like you would online, but it'll prompt questions for you to work through the form on your screen. Please do not contact a code enforcement officer directly. If it's a complaint, it needs to go to Liz. Please don't leave letters under our door. And please don't tell Crystal during committee that you have complaints or during any other time. They all should go to Crystal. Don't make Hannah's mistake. You'll end up in the presentation.
Honestly, if you want your complaint taken care of in a timely manner, Liz is the one you want to talk to, because if I take it, it's gonna get stuck in a binder full of a million other things and I'm gonna forget about it.
Going back to the online application, we have business cards and magnets for your constituents. They can put it right on their fridge. You can scan the QR code and it takes you right to the website for reporting a concern, applying for permits, FOIL requests, all that good stuff. Does anyone have any questions?
Easy peasy, right? Lemon squeezy.
Alright, that's
Second
it, all
time's
I
the
got for
charm.
it. I'm gonna hand out some of these cards.
Thank you. She already asked if there was any questions, so we will move on to finance.
Thank you, Madam President. Finance, we had 4 resolutions. As it's been reported in the media, Governor Kathy Hochul released the 30-day amendments to the executive budget, which include an additional $100 million in temporary municipal aid. It's been reported that Jamestown will be getting $1.6 million. So the first resolution is now therefore be it resolved that the city of Jamestown applauds Governor Hochul for recognizing the importance of investing in local governments and for reaffirming her commitment to strengthen New York's cities and villages. Be it further resolved, the city of Jamestown urges New York State Legislature to include at a minimum this additional $100 million in temporary municipal assistance in the adopted state budget. And be it further resolved, City of Jamestown calls upon the governor and state legislature to develop a more permanent and predictable solution for unrestricted municipal aid to ensure long-term fiscal stability for New York's local governments. Second resolution, and we had discussion about this in Finance Committee. Crystal and Elliot both came in to kind of give us some more in-depth information about the master agreement that's in this resolution. Resolved that the mayor or her authorized representative be and hereby is authorized to enter into a non-exclusive master project agreement with Ramsey Agriculture, subject to the approval of Corporation Council as to form. Third resolution and fourth resolution are talking about taking off the hiring freeze so that two positions in the police department, those positions can be filled through hiring, and also that one junior civil engineer position in the Department of Public Works also be able to be filled. All 3 of these positions are accounted for in the 2026 budget and are due to employees resigning from their job.
Is that it?
Any questions?
All right, thank you very much. Public safety?
Thank you, Madam President. We had one resolution, the same that was on the Finance Committee. We're looking at hiring freeze to hire 2 clerk positions in the Jamestown Police Department, and that was passed. And then we had 3 special event applications that were also passed. The first one was the annual Turn the River Green, which will be a week from Saturday, March 14th, 9 a.m. till noon, including setup and tear down. Main Street will be closed from First Street to Harrison from 9 a.m. to 12. So that no changes there. That we've been doing that the last several years, and I hear that Councilman Enquist is going to be the leprechaun. I'm surprised he hasn't asked you.
Hold on. Now I'm starting to think it might be real.
There's only about 3 there.
All right, I'll be
Good
there.
luck.
Hey, I'll put the little hat on and I'll be like Lucky Charms guy.
So that was passed. And then hopefully the weather will be nice. It's been a really nice event in the last several years. The river does get really green. And again, just for the record, we always get people concerned about the environment, the river. It's completely harmless to the river. But, BP takes care of that. The second event is the Memorial Day Parade, our annual event, Monday, March 25th from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m., including setup and tear down. The parade begins at Baker Park and then at Lakeview Cemetery, and we'll go up and down Lakeview Avenue again, so we'll be going up 6th Street. Whoops. I didn't know that way.
You may not.
May, I'm sorry, did I say March?
Tomorrow is not.
Still be a little chilly. So again, that's the usual time for that. And then our third one was also passed, St. James Italian Festival, July 11th from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. And road closures have not been requested for this event, so it's just an event. They put the tent up there on the parking lot, and probably because of the traffic and everything else that goes on there. That was passed as well. So those are the 3 events. And I think that was it. Anything else? That was just because of the things that I touched upon with the chief, but on that was it. Any other questions on that? This is the time of year we'll start to get more and more event applications coming in as we get closer to the spring and summer and all the events coming up. Juneteenth and the Greek Festival and Easter things, all the things that start to happen as we get cranked up towards the summer. So and that was it.
Thank you. Public Works?
Thank you, Madam President. One resolution, it was already covered earlier.
Are you done?
Oh, you-
Yeah, I'm done. No, I was kind of flying.
Use now.
Just one resolution was covered earlier with finance for one junior civil engineer position in the Department of Public Works. To lift the hiring freeze, the position is vacant as a result of recent employee resignation. Mark brought us up to speed on that, saying there are some good candidates that are in there, and he's very excited to see how the process works and bring somebody on board. So very excited to get those guys up and moving. We also discussed safer streets for Jamestown. I was told that there's 154 miles of streets in Jamestown. Did not know that was the exact number of streets or miles and streets, but we also went over where the problem areas were. There's about 15 miles that make up about 93% of where the problems within the city lie. So we're continuing to work on that and figure out something, a good process for the safer streets for all initiative. Another good note, as soon as the weather breaks, there's going to be some work that's going to be starting on 2nd Street, getting those potholes taken care of, so we can look forward to that coming up as the weather gets better.
They started today.
Did they start today?
Catco was out there today.
You saw them today? Okay, wonderful, so there
I
you
see
go.
them out last week. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is it for Public Works.
I would just like to add, Dan was right, Cadco now is responsible for all potholes. The city does not maintain the potholes anymore, Cadco's got the contract, so they are responsible for fixing all potholes. Am I correct in saying that, Mark?
On
On
Second
Second
Street.
Street.
In the project.
Not all of them.
On Second Street,
Yeah.
on Second Street.
Washington Street. too.
State roads, state and county roads, right?
Just Second Street.
Just Second?
Just in the project area.
Yeah.
Mine is it.
That's it for Public Works.
Thank you very much.
Just a quick,
That's just,
we mentioned that, Safer Streets, the meeting is the next second meeting is March 18th. It's at 2 p.m. in here. And then we'll continue the discussion. I know we talked about having at some point on the road, joint
Yes.
meeting with public safety. So maybe after that, we'll continue to move along with that with some of the areas and, around the schools and things like that, some other issues, so.
That's the steering committee for the safe
2
streets.
p.m. here,
That's the steering committee for the safe streets at 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Is that gonna be open to the public? Do you know?
Crystal, the safe streets for all steering committee, is it, it's not usually?
Okay.
It's not really, yeah.
There is gonna be.
There will be, yeah, there will be public meetings. So
So-
this one is more for like the core committee that was established.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let me say, if this will work like the comprehensive plan. There's a steering committee that meets to discuss the big overall picture. From that point, they will have public meetings and public sessions, just like the comp plan that some of you went to last year. It's the same concept, they'll be open for a general public comment out in the community center. So that will be the next, when we get through this first phase of the steering committee.
I was just looking at the list, this for me. Some people. Right, we'll continue.
Yeah. Do you wanna set 2 weeks so we can, or after this, we'll do a joint session, Public Works, Public Safety?
Wanna do it in April? Let's do it in April.
Yeah, after we get through this.
So you're gonna set up a joint meeting between Public Works and, safety to talk?
Let's plan in April. I think gives us some,
Gives us time to go to this
if
and.
something comes out of that, we can take from that.
With the safer streets, is anyone looking at electric bikes and scooters? Remember.
Everything is included in it.
Okay. The question I have is, I remember Bill Reynolds had it kind of read into the minutes a few months ago. I believe it's Village of East Aurora, the town of Clarence, last year put in place limitations on, following the state law that's currently in place, but adding that they could impound things like bikes and scooters that weren't being used. There would be a fine for getting those back. Doing education, using resource officers, doing education in the schools on bike use, things like that. It appeared that the police chief in the village of East Aurora was very much in favor of it, and I've heard quite a few complaints. I guess what I'm wondering is, could something like that be used as a template here? And is that something that the police department would wanna kinda have, as something to use, that they could impound it, and then it would take a fee in order to get it back?
You said that bikes and scooters left somewhere, is that what you're saying, or?
No, that they're being ridden in violation of the law.
Minors using e-bikes is
Yeah.
currently
I was
legal.
just trying to understand what you're asking.
Yeah, well, I think the concern in other communities is that there's gonna be an accident, and I know people have talked here about the concerns of accidents, and I think particularly in the downtown area. I can remember one night leaving a meeting from here and turning left to go on 4th Street, and there was an e-bike coming right at me the wrong way. So I guess I was just wondering, since it's being done in other communities, is that something that could be looked at, particularly in conjunction with the safer streets, and would that be something that the police department would want to be able to have?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd have to look and see exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it. Like as far as seizing or taking the bikes, they'd have to look at the kind of legalities of that, and then holding them for a fine. We'd have to see how they're doing it to see if it would work for us. I mean, obviously, for us, any bikes and scooters and stuff every summer are unfortunately kind of an issue for us as far as how they're being ridden and who's riding them and where. So anything that we can do to try to mitigate that would be great. We are working on some different initiatives as far as bike safety, summer safety, and stuff through the schools with our SROs as well.
Okay.
So yeah, last year we did we assisted with a bike helmet handout and informational event, and then we were able to get bike helmets and we hand them out to anybody who came in and got them. So that's one thing that we can do as well.
Well, one of the other things, I think last year, there was, a law passed here that, like, a car could be impounded if it was the third time that there was a noise violation connected to the vehicle. So I thought, well, that's something that is getting done, in some situations.
Yeah, let's see what they, like how they're have it modeled and kind of see if it works for us.
Okay.
Yep.
I think it's something we can also, as we're working.
Something we can put together, so everybody understands how it works for bikes and scooters downtown.
I'm sorry, well, I didn't hear what you said.
Like a little safety fair, a little Jamestown safety fair for people to bring their kids and come, and so teenagers and everybody knows how
Yeah,
the
so
e-bikes and the scooters are supposed to operate, where you're supposed to leave them.
yeah,
For use.
yep. I think there are some other organizations that do some bike and scooter safety events. I don't know exactly who. I don't want to say they do and then they don't. So I know there are some organizations, but yeah, we can, depending on what is entailed, we can put something out. Sure.
Seems like a good way to get police officers involved with the greater community and young people.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a community building kind of thing that could be centered around that issue.
Sure.
I was just gonna add, Doug, to your points as well. Through the Safe Streets for All efforts, as the consultant team is putting together recommendations based on the public outreach that we do and the public meetings, and then what their ultimate recommendations are and the plan, that is something that can be incorporated into the actual plan as well.
Thank you.
Okay, is that it for, do we have any remarks from Irene?
Couple things, you obviously all saw the resolution on the increase in the state aid. I still have no indications, just keep in mind that's again a 2027 allowance, and still has to be voted on by the legislative bodies of the state. So while I'm optimistic, I'm cautiously optimistic as to what that's going to end up looking like. Another few things, you all got a copy of a press release of a recent grant that was awarded in partnership with the county and DOD for lead abatement. Great success of 1.7 million coming in to work on our lovely housing stock. So great initiative between the county and the DOD, and I want to congratulate them and Paula. Paula makes all these things happen. In addition, Crystal was able to obtain another grant that we'll send out a press release on. It is a Grow Housing Technical Assistance Grant for $250,000 to help her department on the legal side, and some other initiatives in there with more details to come. So we're starting to hear back on some grants that were submitted recently, which is great news, and we hope the tide continues with some other initiatives we sent. We'll let you know as soon as we hear one way or another, but some of the things that are on hold right now are impacting notification and processing of grants and some other stuff. But other than that, and I do have one item for executive session under potential litigation, and it should take 5 minutes, and I would like the entire council and the entire staff to stay.
Okay. So I make a motion for us to go into